This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
If you didn't know, you should know. Donald Trump is an opportunist. Donald Trump, aside from white supremacy and what is good for Donald Trump, doesn't really have a North Star. He's not ideologically driven unless it brings him power, wealth, influence, and a stranglehold on the Republican Party. There was an event held yesterday in support of the insurrectionists who attempted to overthrow the United States government by overturning a free and fair election, who had a failed coup attempt in their attack of the United States Capitol. An event to support those who are facing criminal consequences for their crimes. And you would think that the law and order president would be all over holding these people accountable for their attack on the country he claims to love. On the attack, the violent attempted overthrow of the country he and his supporters claim to revere. They talk about their love for the cops and the rule of law and the anthem and the flag and the troops and the cops and it's all lip service. It's lies. It's nonsense. Because Donald Trump pre-recorded a message where he's doing this, like he's playing an accordion. And he's talking about his support for the insurrectionists, how they're being tortured, they're being mistreated, all while in pretrial confinement, to be held accountable for their crimes against the United States and her people. Watch this brief clip, and then I'm going to play two others illustrating my point, my thesis here. He doesn't care. He said multiple things. This is his style. He says one thing one day, one thing another. They both are diametrically opposed, but then he's able to claim both sides of the issue. Watch this from yesterday.
Unconstitutionally, in my opinion, and very, very unfairly, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. And you know what I've said. I take it very seriously. I have never seen anything like it at all levels. It's the weaponization of the Department of Justice, and we can't let this happen in our country, because our country is going not socialist. They've skipped over that. They skipped over socialism. Our country is going communist. This is what happens, and we can't let it happen. We have to stop it. So I want to thank everybody for working so hard. I know how hard you're working to get justice for people that are imprisoned right now and people that are being tormented. We can't let it happen. We're going to stop it. We're going to win. Thank you all very much.
I've never seen anything like it at all levels. It's the weaponization. I'm Donald Trump. I'm a f***ing moron.
And he's a liar who does not hold true to these principles he claims of law and order and a love for cops and a love for our country and our democracy. Because on January 8th of 2021, 2 days, he delivered an address where he is standing there. It's obviously a script that was written by someone else, and he's proclaiming to the country that you will pay for your crimes against the country. These insurrectionists, these rioters, these attackers of our country and our democracy, you will pay.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
Kind of a stark difference between yesterday and January 8th, no? And it's not just that. About 5 days later, about a week after the insurrection, on January 13th, he had this to say in another set of prepared remarks. Remember, when Donald Trump is speaking off the cuff, It's, yeah, very fine people on both sides. It's only when someone writes a script for him where he's Ron Burgundying the words that he says the right thing or the expected thing of a leader in our country. Watch this from January 13th, 2021. And again, juxtapose the messages of
Weaponization of the Justice Department
and what you're getting ready to see.
My fellow Americans, I want to speak to you tonight about the troubling events of the past week. As I have said, the incursion of the U.S. Capitol struck at the very heart of our republic. It angered and appalled millions of Americans across the political spectrum. I want to be very clear. I unequivocally condemn the violence that we saw last week. Violence and vandalism have absolutely no place in our country and no place in our movement. Making America great again has always been about defending the rule of law, supporting the men and women of law enforcement, and upholding our nation's most sacred traditions and values. Mob violence goes against everything I believe in and everything our movement stands for. No true supporter of mine could ever endorse political violence. No true supporter of mine could ever disrespect law enforcement or our great American flag. No true supporter of mine could ever threaten or harass their fellow Americans. If you do any of these things, you are not supporting our movement, you are attacking it, and you are attacking our country. We cannot tolerate it. Tragically, over the course of the past year, made so difficult because of COVID-19, we have seen political violence spiral out of control. We have seen too many riots, too many mobs, too many acts of intimidation and destruction. It must stop. Whether you are on the right or on the left, a Democrat or a Republican, there is never a justification for violence. No excuses, no exceptions. America is a nation of laws. Those who engaged in the attacks last week will be brought to justice.
So do not by any stretch be bamboozled. Don't be fooled. Don't allow anybody else to tell you the BS, the lies about Donald Trump really caring about the country or being the law and order person. And not just Donald Trump. This extends out to Republicans in general who support this doofus. They've allowed him to hijack. They welcomed him in with open arms to hijack their party. From the very beginning of this, any of us with any sense said this is not going to go well. He is this person. It is clear. He's saying it with his mouth who he is and what is important to him. And Republicans ignored that. And now it's coming home to roost. We're finally seeing some chipping away of the possible future of the Republican Party. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Follow me on social media. I am at Dollemore, just about everywhere. I'm actually on a couple others now, Post and Hive, since Twitter is maybe on its way out. If you're on Hive or Post, at Dollemore, that's where I am. I'd love to hear from you there. And if you appreciate what I do, if I bring value to your day or to your life, and you'd like to help support what I do here, help produce what I do here, be a producer, I guess, of the show, click the join button below, become a channel member for $1.99 a month, or go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. You can also pick up some merch. Go to dollemore.info. That'll redirect you to the Teespring store, and you can help support the channel and get something that you can wear in return or drink coffee out of. There's mugs and totes and stickers and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Have a great next few days. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.